Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I'm actually going to go and pick on Ford again today because I find it really peculiar that a major motor manufacturer can make so many mistakes with so many engines over such a large period of time. And we're going to look at the run-of-the-mill engines that they put in pretty much everything. We're not going to look at Cosworth engines which were based on the Pinto. We're not going to look at BDAs, Lotus twin cams, BDXs, which were all based off the old cross-flow pushrod engine, because they're competition engines. That's an engine that, because they're pushed so hard and they're highly stressed, you're going to expect problems with them. So we won't go there because of the nature of the engines. We're going to look at the disasters Ford have designed into quite a few of their engines that they've never ever sorted out themselves. A lot of these engines are engines in the past, but Ford never sorted any of the issues out, and they're still doing it today with the EcoBoost engine. They got problems, they won't admit to it, they're wiping their hands of the problems. It's as if Ford owners are guinea pigs. They're being given duff engines and you go and find the problem. And we might, if it's an easy fix, we might do it, but the chances are they're just going to wipe their hands of it. Cars have come out of warranty and they're not interested. So let's go back to the early 1960s. Well, Ford then were making pre-crossflow engines and V4s. Now the V4, the only issue with the V4 is it was a really heavy engine and it was a bit gutless, it never made a lot of power. So we can forgive them for that one. It just wasn't, it's not an engine you'd buy and tune, it was just crap. Just gutless. The pre-crossflow, that got thrown into everything. Ford Pops, Ford Anglias. These weren't fast cars anyhow, so they didn't really need a powerful engine. But the engines were good, they were strong, they were reliable. Then we move on to what I think is probably Ford's legendary engine, the Crossflow. That engine spanned from the late 60s and in one form or another all the way to the early 2000s. And that was a really, really good engine for Ford. They made it as a 950, 1100, 1.3, 1.6. They threw it into absolutely everything. It went in Mark II Cortinas, Mark III Cortinas. It went into Ford Capris, Mark I Escorts, Mark II Escorts. All the Fiestas in the early days were crossflow engines, and they were a super strong, tunable, reliable, easy to work on engine. They were brilliant. Early 80s. We're going to jump onto another problematic engine called the CVH. Compound valve, hemispherical, and Ford made it out to be this almighty, really clever combustion chamber. and it was nothing special. It was all advertising hype. It was a load of bloody crap. It was underpowered. It was harsh. It didn't like to rev. It was unreliable. It suffered with oiling issues to the cylinder head, so it used to wipe camshafts out. Cam followers used to collapse. It used to get full of black gunge. You could take the rocker cover off a CVH and literally scrape all this horrible black gunge out of the cylinder head. But what it used to do was break up, and it used to block the oilways that oiled the camshafts, the oilways that oiled the hydraulic followers, so it used to destroy top ends all the time. Ford never sorted the problem out. It was an inherent problem of the CVH that went on for its entire production span. It was a crap engine. Then we've got the Ford Pinto, and I think Ford royally messed up with that engine. An inherently good design, very strong bottom end, all cast iron construction, single overhead cam. And the big issue with the Pinto was, again, another oiling issue to the camshaft. The engine had overhead cam, belt drive, and the cam was suspended on pedestals above the valve gear, which meant it was not immersed in oil. So they had to put a oil spray bar across the top of the cam to spray oil onto the camshaft and the cam followers. Well, they never put big enough holes in the spray bar, and it used to starve the camshafts and the cam followers of oil. So that engine then developed a reputation for eating camshafts and cam followers. You could put bigger holes into the spray bar, which did alleviate some of the problem, but if you weren't meticulous with oil changes, the issue returned. It was just another one of them. Ford messed up. There's a bit of a picture coming up here, isn't there? Oiling issues. They were good at it. Right, once they decided to stop using the crossflow in the Fiestas, and they then bought out a car called the Puma, and they had a nice, and it's one of Ford's better engines, 1.25, 1.4 and 1.7, twin cam, 16 valve, little rev machines. They were cracking engines, but Ford needed help with that engine. They had to get Yamaha involved. Yamaha designed the cylinder head, and that engine was an absolute cracker. Then they bought the Z-Tech out, which was another good engine. That came out as a 1.4 or 1.6 or 1.8 and a 2 litre. That engine powered lots and lots of cars and was a nice engine, and that engine's still being used these days. A lot of the kit car builders use it because it is a phenomenally good engine. Oh, look at the views we've got here. Reservoirs. I'm actually up on top of the Denby Moors here, and we call this Road Twin Lakes. It's an absolutely beautiful part of the world. So let's move to 2010 on, and we move now to what Ford call the EcoBoost engine. Now that has been the biggest disaster of an engine that anybody has ever designed. It is an absolute horror of an engine. The concept, small, light, turbocharged, 3-cylinder, powerful engine, makes a lot of sense. We've got to pull over and have a look at the view. We've just driven down that ribbon of road there that runs along the side of this reservoir, and you can probably make out another road up over the other side of the reservoir. These are roads that Top Gear used to use for filming some of the car tests. And the reservoir is quite full. I've seen it lower. And it's absolutely crystal clear. Absolutely beautiful. But look at the sky. It's an absolutely beautiful day today. What a nice setting. Right, let's carry on with our drive and carry on using this absolutely gorgeous piece of road. That's the first of two reservoirs on this gorgeous ribbon of road. Yeah, so Ford decided then to make the EcoBoost engines, and you've only got to do your research on the internet and realise Ford have done exactly what they've done in the past. They've used their customers as guinea pigs. Let's just put the engine out there and let's let our customers discover the problems with our engines. Nope, road's not closed yet, and they're just buggers for it. They did it with the CVH, they did it with the Pinto, they did it with the V6s when they put nylon gears to drive the camshafts. They never sorted that problem out either, and they've done it with the EcoBoost engines. Built an engine that's totally and utterly flawed in its design, and it's just so annoying that they then go and charge people to drive around in these cars that are not really fit for purpose, because an EcoBoost will not give you any warning that it's braking. It'll just overheat. It could leave you stranded outside the lane of a motorway, and it's not fair to customers. Ford need to be bought to book for the EcoBoost problems that they're having. They've never been bought to book for any of the engine issues they've ever had, and it's so wrong. Totally, utterly wrong what they're getting up to. Anyhow, I'm not going to go on any more about Ford engines, because they are just absolutely rubbish. I'll sign the video off there and call that video done and dusted. Please consider clicking thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Get all the updates as and when I make new videos. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much.